Hey, today on Doodlebud, we're going to be talking about reverse writing today. What is reverse writing? Well, when you take a fountain pen and write with it this way, that's the normal way. Flipping it over and holding it this way, that's reverse writing. Now, when I get a new pen, I'm primarily concerned about how it writes in this direction, holding it the proper way, because the way a nib is made, how the feed is designed, and even the pen itself, it's all optimized for using the pen in this mode. So if you flip it over, turn it upside down, you're not technically really using the pen the way it was intended. So I don't really have any expectation on the nib performing in that way because it wasn't meant to do so. However, I do have 4 pens in my collection that I find write quite well, surprisingly well, when you flip it over and write in reverse. I did some writing samples here with the pens regular and then reverse. Let me show you those right now. I'm not sure if it's standard on all the extra fine or fine Pelican nibs to write so well in reverse, but this one's pretty good. It is dry, so I don't think it's intentionally done, but it is quite smooth. I was very surprised. This Bach 14K is even better. The front side's lovely. Flip it over and it's got a much better tuning, even juicier to it as well. It almost looks like they finished it that way, just how the polish was. But nothing beats this Visconti Homo sapiens that's brought back to life by Mark Bacchus. And I don't know if it's standard procedure, but for good measure, the reverse on this pen is better than a lot of front sides on many other pens. And then I got my M. I had to make the best of this nib, and after getting it right and good on one side, I noticed a flat spot that's ground from the factory, flipped it, made it cursive italic. So my view on if a pen writes well upside down right out of the box, if I get this pen brand new and you flip it over and write super smooth upside down, I think that's going to be usually a fluke. Now, it's not that you can't get the pen to do that, but unless you take the time, some effort and some purpose went into making a pen do that, you just got lucky if it did it out of the box. So, a couple pens here were ground, and you could do that with a pen. So this one here, the Mont Blanc, they actually do this little flat spot on the end of the nib here. And so, how do you make the pen right upside down? Well, you had to sort of work with this, and I turned it into a cursive italic. So what I'm going to do now is take a pen. I thought, let's make this a little fun. So this is my shown design. This is the Pocket Altum. This has a medium nib on it. It writes so smooth. This is just an absolutely lovely medium nib. If I flip it over, go to write with it, it's scratchy. But the reason it's scratchy is, no effort went into ensuring this writes perfectly upside down, right? It could, but you got to pay for that, put some more effort into that. So I thought, let's do that. I haven't done a grind on a pen on the back side of the nib like so. So I thought this would be kind of a cool, this is a cool pen. Let's make it maybe a little bit cooler, make it a combo nib. And so there's 2 choices I could make. I could just smooth it out. So now I have a medium on one side, maybe a fine on the other. For like an artist, that's probably really handy. I personally don't need pens to write upside down, but I could see it if it was, depending on what you do. Most likely with art, you're always changing line thickness and all that type of stuff. That would be a handy little feature. But I don't know, for some reason, I think I just want to do more than that. This has a little bit of tipping material on here, and I'm thinking I could maybe turn this into an architect grind. I was just playing with this, and I thought, let's try that out. I only have 2 architect grind nibs right now. One of them is one I purchased, and the other one is one I did myself. The one I purchased is a nib I installed onto this pen. This is the Bobby Architect grind. So you can see here, if we get you a little close, I have a separate review on this nib I've done before, but this is like a fine architect grind. So this is one I purchased. It was pretty reasonable. I think it was, I don't know, $20 or something like that. I don't know what the price is now or how available they are now. The other one is another pen that I did myself. So I swapped the nibs on this Lamy Dialogue 3 from a medium to an extra fine. And right away, it wrote more of the way I was looking for. The medium was way too thick for me. But shortly after I got it, like just a few hours, it still, for me, just didn't suit the pen. I had an extra fine line now, but I was like, I need something still a little more interesting. And maybe it was these lines that got me the idea. I quickly ground this. It didn't take much. You had to do very little because the tipping's so small. But now it's an extra fine architect nib. And I absolutely love this. This pen with this nib, this extra fine architect with Kaweco Ruby Red is just my go-to. I think it's such a wicked combo. Here's a quick look at my setup before I get going. Got my book to test the nib as I go, and I got this little page dealie from xTool to keep the book line flat, which is nice. I have my 1000 grit stone I use for sharpening knives, and I got my little pads, micro mesh pads. There'll be links in the description, 4000, 6000, 8000. The add-in star microscope, I'll have a link for that as well. Everything will be down there on the bottom. But this thing's a game changer. I get great magnification. I record the video. I can compare against the other nib here for reference, so I can see what I'm doing. This thing makes nib grinding so much easier, especially for homegrown. But time to put up or shut up, as they say. So I start off by getting my writing angle the way I want, and then you put a flat spot on that reverse side of the nib. So you get that flat spot first. I am going to quickly check. I'm very paranoid about how it's going to damage the front side of the nib. So after I get a little flat spot, okay, the front's still pretty good. Do a little bit more. Then I check my work. Tiny. So I got to remove more, of course. So I go ahead and do that. I'm also going to be checking for geometry. Just make sure it's not going to impede on the front. But that's a little bit better. We're getting there. So after you get that flat spot, you got to rotate the nib and go on its sides and remove the shoulders. Now, if you're a professional nib grinder, you're probably throwing up in your mouth a little bit. Just, I'm giving this a shot, see how it goes. I have no idea if this is going to work. So you got to do that on both sides because you got to remove those shoulders. And yeah, just very gentle strokes. You can't unremove material, right? So I go nice and light, check my work as I go. We sort of got that wedge effect. We can see I'm uneven. So I got a nice angle on this side, but you check the other side and it's not quite the same geometry. So I got to really pay attention to that rotation that I do. So I'm taking better attention to it. I think I also figured I have to go a bit of a steeper angle. I switched ink because the yellow ink I had in there was a little tough on the writing sample. It really got washed out with the water, tough to see on the white paper. So I switched it to a blue ink just to make my life a little bit easier. Thought, okay, let's check it out, see how we're doing so far. Are we getting the line variation? Yep. It's pretty scratchy at this point. I got to polish it, of course, but the front is still nice too. So here's a quick look at it, just comparing against the other one. You can see, like, you got more real estate on the underside of the nib versus the backside, but I'm going to work with it. So I just refined it, polishing it on the pads, 4,000, 6,000, 8,000. I have a 12,000 downstairs I'll finish it off on. I'm just trying to remove those sharp edges. It's got some pretty nasty bits, some nasty points there. So just smoothing those out, making it more, user-friendly, so to speak, and seeing how it's going. So let's give it another look under the microscope. And that's looking a lot better. I flushed out the pen, changed ink, and all that stuff because I want to write with a different yellow ink. You'll see in a moment. But it's looking not too bad. It's kind of wild. Here's the bottom side, so you can see that front nose there. If you write vertical, this will be a nasty nib. It's a medium, so there's not much tipping material, but on the underside, here's how it is here. I'm going to talk about it in a second. I actually had to kind of round it around a little bit, and it ended up stepping down the nib size a little bit, but it's pretty cool. Okay, so how did the pen turn out? Pretty darn good. My hands got quite messy in the process because I also decided to do another ink change. I have this bottle here. This is the Noodler's. When I bought it, it's the Apache Sunset. Now they call it Southwest Sunset. And I just thought it actually would go cool with this pen. And also, I want to try it out on the Regalia paper. I have never used this on Regalia. And this is a super, super shader ink. And the Regalia really amps up the shading. So I thought that'll be fun. But I'm going to throw it onto the Rhodia first and show you how this pen writes now. So a sort of happy accident happened because, as you saw with the grind, the architect was sort of creeping down in onto the bottom side of the nib. I did have to smooth things to watch out for those edges. Here's what it looks like just on a macro sort of level. So it looks kind of like a weird nib. So I did have to, on some of those low sharp corners, blend it so it still work well. And as I had to blend it, I had to remove some material. So I probably went to medium. This is now a fine, which is actually what I prefer anyway. So sort of a little unintended bonus here. It still writes just lovely. It's very smooth. I might tune it just a touch more. I'll get used to this as time goes on. This is the first time I've ever done this. But yeah, the flow is good. It's quite smooth in all directions. It's the same line width, so it doesn't have a bit of a grind to it. It's just a standard fine now. And yeah, the wetness is quite good. And yeah, it's tuned up just the way I like it. So that was kind of cool. But let's flip it over and see what we got now. So you can see those nice thin downstrokes. The ink is a little watery. I just flushed the pen and cleaned it up, so I think it's still a little bit watery. I might bleed the pen a little bit more to get the ink through. But here we go. Let's do the standard block letters, get the fuzz off the nib there. So the sweet spot on the Architect side, it's a little bit small, but it's quite nice. It's actually really, really smooth once you hit it right. I might toy with it a bit. Here's a comparison against the Bobby nib. So it's actually writing a little bit better. Let's flip to the front side because that's kind of important. What a waste if you screw up the front side, but that's working great. The reverse cursive is good. And the printing, I'm really, really liking this so far. I know it's new and I'm probably like excited about my own work, but I'm kind of excited about this. I did end up shaking up the ink bottle and doing the pen again, flushing it and refilling it because, yeah, the shading wasn't quite there. So shake up your Noodler's ink bottles. But you can see, get much better color, more orange in it as I continue on with the Regalia. It feels fantastic on the Regalia paper. Now you can better see that shading once I shook up the bottle here. We're getting a lot more oranges and stuff like that as well. So did a little splotch there too. But all in all, so that's the regular, that's the flip side. I'm pretty happy with this grind. This was fun to do. There you go again. That's the bottom side. That's the flip side. And I compared it with my other Architect nibs here on the other page. So there's the Bobby Architect. That's a fine. Then I got my Lamy Dialogue 3 that I did with my extra fine. And now we got this one on here on the reverse side as well. So it's on a medium. It looks fairly similar to the Bobby Architect fine. Maybe it's a touch thicker, but it gives you an idea. This has X feather in it. That's why, yeah, it takes forever to dry. So that's the trade-off of that ink. That was pretty fun to do. Now I actually have 5 pens that have reverse writing capability, and one in particular that was specifically done in a very cool way. So, you know, that worked out as good as I could have hoped for a first go on a reverse grind. And yeah, so that's pretty neat. Anyways, love to hear from you in the comments. Do you use your pens on the flip side on reverse? Have you got one with a special grind on the back side? Love to hear from the comments. If you like this video, thought that was pretty cool, do me a favor, hit subscribe. Least you can do. Until then, we will catch you next time.